Hello, Starseeds. Welcome back to another video on Starseed Academy. My name is Jenny. Today, I really want to continue my favorite playlist ever, my favorite series on this channel is Meet the Cosmos, and I really want to talk about one of my favorites today, which is the Fae. Oh my goodness, like what a broad grouping of beings that this encompasses, but I'll try my best to talk about some of the ones that I know today. And there are so many of you, because I get to meet a lot of you, which is like amazing, by the way, getting to meet my community. You guys join me all the time for events and one-on-one sessions, and then also in my membership. And many of you have also joined me in my signature program, Psychic Light Training. And so I get to meet you and I get to feel your frequency, like your theme of your energy, and see your Akashic records and your lives and meet your guides. And it is so like profound how many of you are just like emitting so much elemental energy and are filled, your teams are filled with elemental guides. What is elemental? Elemental is the Fae, the Elven beings, the dragons, the unicorns, basically all of those like fairy tale beings. And the Fae are definitely an elemental. Elemental usually means like very connected to nature as well. And so we're going to talk a little bit about the Fae today. Before we jump in, I just want to remind you all to like and share and subscribe. You'll get new videos every Sunday on this channel, and please share this because it's so beautiful. Like, I just love when you guys share my videos and I find, new people find me and then they binge the channel and then they message me and it's so funny. But yes, please do share it. And so before we jump in, I just want to share that if you're looking to work with me on a more one-to-one basis, then please check out the links in the description. Would love to have you in the membership group. That is honestly such a great place to start if you're not sure about working together, or if you're not sure what's best for you. Choose the membership. You'll get so much value out of that. And it truly is like a program with me where it's so intimate as well, because we do 3 live events every single month. It's so much. And I always do like group readings because they're definitely a favorite. So I try to work them in every single month. But we do lots of amazing things over there. Like we've done a lot of things with the Fae and the unicorns. We do astral journeys and missions, but we also do activations, healings. We meet different dimensional beings and ask them questions and have conversations. And oh man, we do so much over there. Inner child healing, soul retrievals, ascension, coaching, lots of different workshops, kundalini stuff. Like it's all happening. So anyway, check out the membership group. I would definitely start there if you're wanting to work with me. Link is in the description, and make sure too that you are subscribed to my email list because it's free and you get an energy report, a free weekly energy report. It comes every Monday to your inbox. So those are 2 things just to highlight for you. Okay, so let's talk about the Fae. So we'll talk about some of the most obvious ones. So a lot of the ones that I see as people's guides are one of these 2. They're either the Sprites, which are like the little Tinkerbells, like the little sprites. They generally have like wings, maybe can be different colors. They look humanoid, but they're tiny. They have the pointed ears. They are very magical. They're always like sparkling, and their aura is very sparkly. And then the other Fae are like human-sized, like just like a human, but they've got the pointed ears, and they have almost like a bit of a glow to them, though. Like their skin is just like very perfect looking and very glowy. And they may or may not have wings, and they may or may not be able to actually like conjure wings, like wings of light or energy, and they can choose when they want them to come in or go out, or they might just have physical wings and that's just what they have. And then there are elven beings as well, which the elven beings I don't usually see with any kind of a wing. And they do have that same pointed ear, and they're almost like a species of Fae, right? Like the way that humans have different cultures, like we have Caucasian and the Asian, and for like the Fae, it's like the Sprites and the Fae and the Elven, and probably many more like Brownies. And actually Brownies are really cute too. They're like little brown, they look like they're made of bark or wood, similar to maybe kind of similar to a sprite in that they're little. I actually don't usually see them with wings though. They look like they just live in the little trees. I feel like the Keebler elves may be like based on something like that. But usually to me, they actually look like they're made of nature, like bark, like brownies look like tree bark to me. And then there are flower fae. Actually, this was new to me. I just saw this on someone's team and I was trying to describe to them what I was seeing. It was so funny. It was like a little fae being made out of a flower where there was her face and then there were petals all around her face and her wings were the leaves. And she literally looked like a flower come to life if you were to draw like a cartoon flower. So there are probably so many different kinds of fae, of these species, of all sizes, of all looks. Think like even like I don't know, like Alice in Wonderland and Tinkerbell and fairy tales. Basically, that's where the fairy tales come from. That's where all of these ideas come from, is that this is actually like a real realm of these beings. And then also there's tree spirits, which I would, maybe that fits more under nature spirits, but it feels very fey to me, or very elemental. I love talking to trees, and not just talking to trees. I mean, like, I put my hands on them, I send my consciousness in, I meet the soul where it's at, and it's quite an experience. It's almost like astral traveling and channeling. And whenever I do that, I put my consciousness into the tree to chat with, find the soul in there. I literally can see like an orb of light at somewhere within that tree, if it's alive, that is in there, like a real being is in there that you can actually talk to. And my favorites are like really super old trees. There's this right near where I live, there is this very, very old black oak. It even has a plaque talking about how it's like the oldest one in all of the area or whatever, in all of the state. And so anyway, of course, that's one I wanted to connect with, because I'm like, ooh, it must be super old. And when I connected with it, I actually did like an Instagram post all about it. So check out my Instagram for me. It's like a picture of me with my hands on it. And I talked about what actually happened in that, because I don't want to go into all the details. But basically it was this like soul like covered in moss, and it was like actually a very grumpy old man soul, and not interested in talking to me at all at first, but I actually got it to warm up to me a little bit, and it really saw me as a child. Like it really saw me as like a little child, and it was just like, you know, annoyed and shaking its head, but kind of came around a little bit. And I visited multiple times since that particular tree. It's worth the walk to it because it's kind of deep into a trail, but it's like visiting a friend. And now whenever I visit, it's like a little bit quicker of a connection and more of like a familiarity, like it knows who I am. And I was like, oh, you again. What are you doing? Like waking me up, because it's right now it's like still kind of wintry here. So I think it's in hibernation and sleeping, but we've exchanged a lot of conversation and gifts. Like, you know, it gave me like a really beautiful gift of a different perception on, or perspective on, presence and how to use it. That really helped me. And I gave it this really beautiful gift of like Gaia's rainbow light called up from like the center of the planet, the center of the earth, and brought it up and like flooded its whole tree with this rainbow light. And it was like dazzled by that. So I was really happy to be able to do that for it. But so there are nature spirits, there are tree spirits. Another fun thing is that I have seen one of my clients, such a sweet girl, as a nature spirit. So she had an Akashic reading, and I saw this lifetime where she was like the wind. She was literally a spirit of the wind. There's not just one wind spirit, there's so many nature spirits, but she was a wind spirit. And all the little animals and the plants and the trees and the fae and everything knew her. Like they could all communicate, right? So they knew who she was, and they thought of her almost like a god that would like bless the land with this beautiful breeze or whatever. It was just really amazing, like so cool. So let's talk a little bit about fae characteristics. Like, what are their gifts? What are they good at? And if you have a lifetime where you've been a fae, this might be a soul gift of yours. Or if you have a guide, a spirit guide that's a fae, this is something that you can ask for help with, that they can work with you on. The first thing is that they are master Manifestors, they are beyond manifesting. They are like sovereign creators, and they are able to pop things in and out of existence at will. They are able to winnow. Winnowing means on the outside, what winnowing would look like is you disappear and then you pop up somewhere else. Kind of like them being able to pop things in and out of manifestation, they can, or in and out of existence. They can do it with themselves too, because there are like pockets between the realms. There's like little spaces where you can store things, like little, I don't even know what a good word would be for it, but there's like energy spaces where you can travel through them, you can store things there. I wish I could think of a word for you. Maybe it will come to me. But so you can winnow by popping out of the spot that you're in, traveling through that back corridor of energy of dimensions, and then popping in somewhere else. But it all looks like instant. And that's how you also pop other things in and out of existence. You can store something in this back corner of the existence. Reality basically has like a back door. We don't understand that as humans, but the Fae, they get it. Another thing that they do is they use all of the elements. So like the wind or the fire or the ground or the sunlight, they use all of the elements, and that fuels their magic in some way. So they work with the elements. They connect so much to nature, and they just really use that, like, to make things grow, to bring in light, to, I don't know, like even maybe bring in fire if they needed to. Like they can use all of those elements. And so it does, and flight and all the things. So they're very magical. They're very, very magical beings. Another thing that they have, so that's one thing, is a master manifester, or the sovereign creator being. That's one of their big gifts. And the next one I had written down is that they are very playful, and that this is very good for the inner child. So if you have a guide that is a Fae being, they could really help you heal your inner child, especially if it's the little sprite ones. They are so cute. Like they're so giggly. They love to dance and sing and play and listen to music and tease and like pull on your hair and poke you, and like they just are like children in a way, and there's like such a purity to that. And many of the Fae demonstrate this understanding that playfulness is important. And as humans, we do not make nearly enough space for that. And so many times people's Fae guides, the message is, play more, just play more, like laugh and sing and dance and skip and play in the forest and play outside and just play. So that's a gift to be able to do that, is very healing. And then the third one that I had written down was that they are very present. Like presence, being in the present moment, would be like a really powerful strength of theirs. And again, that's something that humanity is missing. We are very much living in this fight or flight autopilot, in your head, thinking. We're not here in our bodies or here in this moment, and the Fae are. And that's something, a gift that animals have too. So if you have any animal spirit guides, they can really help you with that. But the Fae are really great at that too. So their gift is very much the presence that they bring. That's why they feel so powerful. All of themselves are in that one moment. They're not up here in they're not in the past, in the future, in the worries, in and out of their body. They're just there. They're just so alive. They're so present and so connected. Okay. They are super attuned to nature and the animal kingdom. We talked a little bit about how they use the elements. Well, they use animals as well. They can be very cooperative with animals. They can work together with them a lot. You've probably seen in lots of fairy tales, like the little sprites riding on the backs of bumblebees or birds, working together, speaking the language of the animals, the larger ones working alongside bears and deer, and just really like, again, like collaborating with nature and the animal kingdom, working with it, not against it, being super connected to it, understanding the value of that. And again, humans, we are like so disconnected from nature. We are so disconnected from animals, and it's a strength to be connected. It's a strength to be able to use that as a resource. And we just don't have that. We don't have a good relationship with nature, and we don't have a good relationship with animals, but they are not afraid of the Fae. Animals are not afraid of the Fae. They would be working with them, basically. So I just love that about them. The Fae are also very honest, to the point of being blunt and a little spicy. So a lot of Fae guides will tell it like it is. They're not necessarily going to sugarcoat things. They may seem all sweet and niceness, but they are blunt. Like, they really don't hold back. And so sometimes they can be a little, like, it can be a little embarrassing for me as the person like channeling and communicating that to somebody when they're talking about something really bluntly. I'm always like, sorry, like, it's them, not me, like the way that they're saying it or whatever. Yeah, they can just be really blunt. Another really weird thing about the Fae, I don't know really where this fits in, but I just thought of it, so I'm going to say it because it just popped into my mind, is that there's this very well-known fact that you never thank a Fae because they think of it as an insult. You never say thank you to them. You can say, I'm grateful, or you can say, I really like enjoy that you did that. I really see the value that you did that. But for some reason, to thank a Fae for anything, that they become very insulted by that, as if you're saying that they were serving you or that they owed you in some way. So I don't know why that just came through, but I try to remember that, because it's like dealing with, when you start communicating, meeting with these different interdimensional beings, there's different like manners and different protocol for each one. So that's something that I do try to remember. I'm sure I'm not perfect about it, but yeah, that's just something that they really don't like. So it's kind of funny, kind of fits in with the whole like bluntness, and like they tell it like it is, they get what they want, like all the things. So talking a little bit about now where they live. So they were once here on Earth, and that was a time on Earth of like a golden era. So if you know anything about the precession cycle, the Mayan calendar, the photon belt of light, golden ages versus dark ages, you can research all of these terms, and I also have a lot of videos about these things. But basically, every 24 to 26,000 years, roughly, there is a golden era on Earth. Usually like 14,000 years of descension, followed by 14,000 years of ascension. We go through, Earth is on a cycle, and it will continue to be on a cycle. It's never going to stop. Oh, we reached a golden era, we're good. Because it's a school, because that's the experience of Earth, and there's value in all of it. That's oneness too. That's like the soul journey, microcosm, macrocosm. But anyway, so one of the golden eras on Earth at the top of that precession cycle, I mean, there's been like Lemuria, which kind of melted into like Atlantis, which kind of melted into like ancient Egypt. There was like a bit of a, because it can't stay in the golden era and it has to come down. And so people are like always like the fall of Atlantis, like they did something wrong. But honestly, it was going to happen. Like, you can't stay in a golden era if we're in a cycle. And so it's bound to come down. So we were at Lemuria, Atlantis, Egypt. This has nothing to do with today's video. But I always trust what wants to come through. Somebody needed to know that or was waiting to hear that. So the point of this was that Avalon was one of the golden eras on Earth. It was a very magical time on Earth, the time of Avalon, because we've had multiple golden eras. And I think the last one was probably Avalon, which is like the closest, maybe time-wise, if time existed, to us. And that was a time where these fairy tales, that's where it comes from, they were real. There was the dragons and the unicorns and the fae and the elven beings and all the things, the nature spirits and all the magic. All of that was available here during a golden era. And then as we as humanity like descended, we could no longer access that anymore, but I don't think it went anywhere. So I believe that they exist alongside us. Just like many worlds can exist on one planet, because if they're in different frequencies, there's not a whole lot of interaction that can happen, because if you're not in the frequency of that thing, you cannot perceive it. But I believe that they are here existing alongside of us, and that there are breakthrough moments. You can have a breakthrough moment where you see a fae, My husband saw a fairy when he was a kid, because that makes a lot of sense because you're super pure as a kid. I also had a lot of experiences like that when I was a kid with a unicorn. There are breakthrough moments to that realm that's still here alongside of us on earth. And I do believe that we will rise up. I believe that I know that humanity is on an ascension path right now, and that we're heading back into that golden era. And you can see it all around you in the world as things purge. And I truly believe that we are on the rise back into another golden era, and that as we approach that, we're going to join them again. Like, we're going to have access to all kinds of things that we think aren't here, that are currently invisible, but are literally living right alongside of us, including magic, including elemental realms of the fae, maybe mermaids, maybe dragons, maybe unicorns, all these things. They're there, they're here somewhere. We need to just rise up to meet them. So look for the breakthrough moments that happen to prove to you that this truly does exist. And if you have a fae guide, spirit guide, turn to them for help with manifestation, inner child healing, playfulness as a way of healing as well, and presence. And all of that can help you so much to create the life of your dreams, heal your nervous system, heal your childhood, and return to your joy. So I hope that this video was enlightening in some way, helpful in some way, interesting. I truly love the Fae so much, and I will be very happy to include this in the Meet the Cosmos series. So check that series out in the playlists here on this channel to see what other kinds of beings I've already covered. And I look forward to many future videos discovering new beings with you and new places around this universe together. So I want to thank you so much. I want to remind you to share this video, like, subscribe. I want to direct you to the links in the description now. Go and check out the membership group. That's a great place to start in working with me, but make sure that you are signed up for the weekly energy reports, because they're free and I put lots of effort into those and they are really powerful. And other than that, I just want to remind you, as always, listen to your heart and the quiet voice within, because you are so much more than the body you are in. I love you, starseeds. Have a great day. Bye.